Hey everybody, Brian Cannon here once again with another edition of OVWmania on Triple Threat Talk for episode 106. I'm going to start off this week by talking about the latest edition of OVW television, which is episode number 723. It was filmed Wednesday night, June 26th at the Davis Arena, released online on ovwrestling.com and blip.tv Thursday the 27th, and then aired on WBNA's Ion 21 Saturday the 29th. The show started off with a tribute to Jackie Fargo. He was a big name here in Louisville and in the Memphis area. He had some big fights with Jerry the King Lawler. They actually showed a clip from a match he had with Lawler. And then they had everyone in attendance stand while they did the 10-bell salute. He passed away last week. And that's how they got underway. Once the actual show started, the Coalition came out. Crimson and Jason Wayne joked about how the terrorist level in OVW had been downgraded to yellow, just like the backs of Michael Hayes and Ali after they had spray painted them last week. And they said they can tell you how cowardly Hayes and Ali are because they're not even here tonight to face them. And then at that point, Michael Hayes' music hit, and him and Ali came to the ring along with Rudy Switchblade, Rockstar Spud, and Ryan Howe. Ali said that they are here and they don't want to wait till the Saturday night special. They want a match against Crimson and Jason Wayne, and they want it for the tag titles tonight. At first, Crimson and Jason Wayne declined and then continue to poke fun at how Crimson and Wayne, are the real heroes and Hayes and Ali are not. And Crimson goes as far as saying that Michael Hayes was nothing more than a short order cook. Which really got under his skin, and it started a fight between them. And then, of course, the rest of the Coalition, along with Rudy, Ryan Howe, and Rockstar Spud, all got involved. So they're all going at it. And then, just like the previous week where the Generals Crimson and Wayne had taken out Sam Shaw, they set up a chair in the corner again. And this time they threw Ali into it shoulder first, injuring his arm. And while all the guys were checking on Ali and helping him to the back, the Coalition actually stayed at ringside. And then it looked like Crimson had got this bright idea. He gets back in the ring and he says that now he's willing to accept the match. And he asks Chris Sharp to go ahead and start the count. Chris Sharp gets about 6 or 7 in the count, and the music hits. Michael Hayes comes back out by himself, even though Rudy, Spud, and Hal all tell him, hey, you don't have to do this. You can wait for Ali. But Michael Hayes is ready and willing to go. So he starts the match by himself and is doing a pretty good job, but about halfway through it, Ali does make it back out with his arm in a sling. He gets the hot tag. He's doing pretty well. But once again, the rest of the Coalition get involved, as well as Spud, Howe, and Rudy. Sharp does not call for the bell in the middle of all this, though. And Michael Hayes ends up grabbing Jason Wayne's baton and giving him a taste of his own medicine, knocks him in the back with the baton. Ali ends up getting the pin, and we have new OVW Southern Tag Team Champions in Muhammad Ali Vaez and Michael Hayes. So congratulations to the both of them. It was kind of a surprise, especially with them supposed to be having the match at the next Saturday night special. I'm not sure if that's still going to be on with Hayes and Ali now the champions, or if there's going to be a change now that they are the champions. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens next week on TV before the Saturday night special. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Also on this show, Jesse Goddard, who's had a run of bad luck lately, he said that he doesn't need the fans, he doesn't need Rudy, and he doesn't need his agent who fired him last week. He said that he's a big boy. He can do things on his own. He can book his own matches, and he challenges and then dares anyone to come out of the locker room to face him. And he gets a surprise when Marcus Anthony comes out to answer his challenge, and Marcus Anthony ends up defeating him with the Gamma Punch. We see backstage Jay Bradley walking out of Danny Davis's office, upset about the number one contender situation. He approaches Dylan Bostic in the back and actually makes some jokes at Bostic's expense, saying that Jamin Olivencia is no bigger than he is, and Dylan goes, "What is that supposed to mean?" But Jay says that he's a pay-per-view star. He's in the Bound for Glory series, and he would think that besides eventually becoming the new TNA champion, as he thinks he will be, you would think they'd want him to be the OVW champion as well. He said, "How many times do I have to boomstick Jamin before I can get a title shot?" And Jamin walks up to him and says, "Hey, tough guy, how about later tonight we settle this one-on-one non-title match?" It was, but that was the main event for the evening. The next match was a TV title match. Randy Royal once again facing his former friend Tony Gunn. In the middle of the match, as Tony Gunn's trying to roll up Randy Royal with a bridge, Randy accidentally, we think, maybe, hit Josh Ashcraft in the face. And while Ashcraft was down, Randy Royal kicked Tony below the belt and got the quick pin on him. So he's still the TV champion, but then after the match, Tony Gunn attacked him, and it seems like this rivalry is far from over. Then in the main event, Jay Bradley actually beat Jamin Olivencia, but it was by disqualification. Towards the end of the match, Jay and Jamin ran headfirst into each other, which knocked Jay out of the ring. And before he got back in, he grabbed a chair away from ring announcer Terry Bodie and brought it in. He was about to hit Jamin with it, but Rob Terry, who was out on commentary for the match, got in the ring, grabbed the chair away from Jay, and ended up hitting Jay with it to cause a disqualification. And then he wound up to go hit Jay again, but Jay moved out of the way, and Rob ended up hitting Jamin Olivencia across the back. And after the match, Jamin wasn't too happy. He doesn't know whether Rob did it on purpose or not, but it doesn't matter. The two of them will be facing off at the next Saturday Night Special for the OVW Heavyweight title. And I'll be talking a little bit about that in just a moment, but I'm going to take a real quick break, and we'll go over SNS as well as a couple other little tidbits before we head back to the guys in the Triple Threat studio. Welcome back, everybody. You just saw a commercial for the Saturday Night Special, the next one being on Saturday, July 6th at the Davis Arena with a bell time of 7:30. The only thing we really know for sure at this point is that the OVW Heavyweight title will be on the line. Jamin Olivencia will be defending against the Welsh Colossus, Rob Terry. I'm unsure if, after having the match last week and we now having new OVW Southern Tag Team Champions, if we will have another match between Hayes and Ali against the Coalition Generals. That was originally confirmed, but after them having the match last week on TV, we're not so sure now, so we'll kind of have to play it by ear on that. And some other matches that I think might happen that, again, are not confirmed yet. I'm hoping they have more of a confirmed list of things that are going to happen. I guess we'll find out Wednesday, July 3rd, before the Saturday Night Special. But I would think there's a possibility we might see Randy Royal and Tony Gunn face off once again for the OVW television title. And I think there's a chance we might see the women's title on the line with Trina, the current champion, defending against Taylor Hendricks. Again, take that with a grain of salt for the moment, but it'll still be a good show. They always put on good shows on Saturdays. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see. But I'll talk more about that next week on the show. If you decide to go to the show, don't forget you can get tickets in advance at any live event or by going to the Fan Advocate and ring announcer Terry Bodie's website, thefanadvocate.com. They're $10 in advance. They're $12 if you wait till the night of the event and try to buy them at the door. And there's no guarantee you'll get in because a lot of times these SNSs sell out. So I would definitely recommend saving yourself a couple bucks and getting a ticket in advance, making sure you're there because it should be a great show. Speaking of Terry Bodie, I'd like to thank him as well as referee Chris Sharp for all they do to help get my news and information out. You can follow them on Twitter at TPBodie. That's TPBODIE. DDIE, and at Ref Chris Sharp, and that's Sharp with the E at the end. Like I said, they both do a great job retweeting my stuff, sharing it on Facebook, and I'll try to help Sharp out with retweeting links for his podcast that I mentioned last week as well. Those podcasts are a lot of fun to listen to. He has a new one up this week with former OVW ring announcer and commentator Timmy Baltimore, and that was a real fun listen. So make sure you check those out. It's on iPatio.com. Just search for Chris Sharp's wrestling podcast that only kind of has to do with wrestling. You should be able to find it on there. Like I said, he tweets out the links for him, and I'll retweet them as well. So, of course, you can follow me at the Brian Cannon, and also my website, of course, OVWmania.blogspot.com, the place for all the results of the TV tapings and the Saturday night specials, as well as my top 20 and any other news or info I might have to pass along. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, it wasn't actually part of the show, but Ryan Howe, actually on Impact last week, got a chance on Gut Check. It was a losing effort to Adam O'Reiner, who's known as the Big O, but he still has a chance to win a TNA contract, and I think there's a good chance that he could get signed. He's actually teaming down here. He's teamed a couple times now with Rockstar Spud, and last week they teamed together under a new tag team name of the Really Really New Rockers, and they beat 4M and Paradise in a dark match to end the night last week. So if Hal is able to win the TNA contract through Gut Check, I would think there's a chance you might actually see him and Spud as the Really Really New Rockers on Impact in the future. We'll have to kind of wait and see what happens with that, though. And speaking of TNA, if you're in the Louisville area, don't forget they're coming to the Broadbent Arena on Thursday, July 18th. You can still order tickets through Ticketmaster.com. They start as low as $15. Of course, that's before all of Ticketmaster's fees and service charges and all that good stuff. But me and the Triple Threat Talk guys are going. We're only like 11 rows away from ringside, and the tickets were only like $35 after all the fees and taxes and that, which isn't bad at all. But I know there's still tickets left, so if you're interested in going, it should be a good night. If you've been keeping up with TNA at all, on July 18th, they'll be doing 2 TV tapings, and one of them, the first one I believe, is Destination X, where whoever the X Division champion is has the option of giving up their title to be able to face the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, which in this case, they had a match last week, a triple threat match for the X Division title. Chris Sabin was defending against Kenny King and Suicide. Suicide got the win, but it wasn't the normal Suicide. It was Austin Aries that was donning the mask. So he is now the X Division champion, and unless things change in the next couple of weeks before July 18th, I would say we're going to see a pretty good main event for the world title with Austin Aries getting a chance, if he decides to cash in the X Division title, to face Bully Ray for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So it should be a really good show. I hope it is. Like I said, unless things change before then. The only other thing I want to mention before we go is, I don't know if this will be released on Thursday with it being the holiday, but if it is, happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day to everybody. Hopefully you enjoy a lot of good food and family and fireworks, but please be careful. Please don't blow yourself up or anything with the fireworks. If you're watching this afterwards, hopefully you had a great 4th of July. And that's pretty much it for this week. So next week I'll be talking about the next OVW episode, and I guess Saturday night special as well. So that ends it for this week. Thanks as always for tuning in and watching, and I'm going to send it back to the guys in the studio.